Hey guys, it's Paul. It's been a while. I haven't put anything out in a while, but I've got a few in the queue, and I hope everybody's doing well. And you know, it's good to be back. I'm always a little hesitant to do these videos because yeah, I don't know. It's just you're not sure how things are going to be received. But I thought this might help. I've run into a couple people that had the same kind of problem. So what I'm going to do today is, this is the Suzuki SCX 64. Okay, this is the same one that I did the review on. It is a fantastic harmonica, but what happens is over time you get like this drag on the slider. And you know, I did some research, and one of the things that I found was that there is something that you can do about this. So I figured I would try it. I'm gonna do that and try it, and we'll post it up. And maybe it's gonna help some people. I don't know, but I've known a couple other people that have had kind of the same issue with these, as they've had them a little longer. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna polish the slider, and we're also gonna flat sand the front of the comb. It's a plastic comb, and apparently what happens is as they dry, they don't dry perfectly flat on the surfaces due to the difference in temperatures and all this other kind of stuff. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to test that and see if we can't make this harmonica play better, because I do love it, and I want to play it more often. So without further ado, what we have here is some 600 grit sandpaper. Ideally, what you want is 500, I guess. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. 5 and 6, I can't imagine there's going to be a huge difference. And then some fine polishing compound. Fine, not heavy polishing compound. You don't want something with a heavy grit. If you get something with too heavy a grit, you could take too much material off of your slider. So those are the things. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this bugger apart, get it all ready, and I just kind of wanted to show you what I'm talking about. So I've adjusted this, I've cleaned it, I've done everything that I can, but watch this. See how you can feel it, okay? So I'm going to fix that. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I've taken the SCX completely apart, and what you need to do is take the reed plates off, cover plates, everything, including the spring, the slider spring. So you need to strip it bare. Now, if you look at this, I don't think that you can see. I don't know if you can see this, but if you look at the front of the comb, you can actually see, like especially around the sections here, that it's not completely flat. You can see where there are small, like, I don't know, little divots and whatnot. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna sand this. Now here's the other thing. If you go, one of the things that I've found is really helpful is when you take harmonicas or anything apart for that matter, if you think that you may have a hard time or remembering how it went back together, go ahead and take pictures of it with your phone. That's what I do, and it's really helped me. It's kind of gotten me out of a pickle a couple of times, and I figured, what the heck. Also, in the interest of full disclosure, this tip that I'm sharing here, I got out of David Kettlewell's For the Love of Chromatic Harmonica book, and I'm reasonably sure that I know where he got it from for the book. And if it's who I think it is, it's a very credible source. So I figured, what the hell, I'm going to try it. We're going to put this to the test and see if it works. The comb, doing this with the comb is because Suzuki mouthpieces tend to lose a little bit of air, or quite a bit of air. Flat sanding the surface of this comb is going to help to get us more airtight. Okay, so all right, so what I did, you got to make sure that the surface is absolutely flat. Okay, whatever surface. And I'm not so sure that I would suggest doing this on your wife's counter. Let me get this so that I could get a better shot. I don't know that I would suggest doing it on your wife's counter, but my wife is at work, so I'm gonna try it. All right, so what we'll do is I'm gonna sand. This is 600 grit, and what I'm gonna do is on a very flat surface, I'm just gonna sand lightly, not hard. Okay, so we sand like this. And what you'll begin to see is, now you can see right here. You see how that is? Okay, so you can see where the sanding has been done. Look at this, on the ends, but nothing there. So it's a proof positive that these combs are not perfectly flat. So be very careful when doing this. You don't want to sand too much material off. Look at that. Okay, you see what I'm talking about? So this is going to improve the instrument's performance, and it's going to keep it, it's going to make it more airtight around the mouthpiece. And apparently, there's another added bonus, and I guess that is the flatter this is between the mouthpiece. Oh boy, I don't want to lose my little bumpers. You know, that's another thing. Keep all your parts together. But the mouthpiece here, as the mouthpiece seats and that slider goes back and forth like that, the flatter it is, it almost has a cleaning effect, much like the sidles have. So what I'm doing is I'm just making sure that I sand and then I check, okay? And you can see I feel reasonably safe doing this in the house because I'm not taking a lot of material off, so there isn't a whole lot of dust being created. You know, it's not one of those things where you're going to need a dust mask or anything like that, although it's probably never a bad idea when you're dealing with PVC and plastic, because that stuff stays in your lungs if you breathe it in, and it never goes away, so it can actually kill you. I unfortunately have a very, very good friend whose father is passing away right now because of that very thing. So always be careful, but this isn't something that's creating a lot of dust. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do this until everything looks even. Look at that. Look at the difference. So you can see how it begins to flatten that surface. Okay, so I'm going to keep doing this, and I'll be back. Okay, so I'm done flat sanding the comb, and what a difference! Holy crap! I didn't realize it would be quite this drastic. So it's very clear that this, you know, there's a huge difference. If you notice, there's a couple indents here, and that's okay. I'm just going to leave those. They're concave, so it's not going to hurt anything. And I'm afraid that if I take this down more, I may remove too much material. We don't want to do that either. So what I just wanted to do is make sure it got good and flat, and that you could see that everything was pretty much uniform in color once it's sanded down. So now that we've got that, we move on to the slide. One of the things that we're going to do here with this, with the slider, is just like the rest of this, you need to have a good flat surface. You definitely got to be careful when you're dealing with the slider. You don't want to bend it at all. So you're going to find a flat surface, place it so that the button can hang over, and I can press down on this now, and it's nice and flat. So all we're looking to do here is to give it a nice polish. We don't want to remove too much material. It can be bad if you do. Also, we're only going to make sure that we do the flat edges. Do not polish the edges themselves. Don't polish those. You don't want to take a lot of material or take material off of those. It's got to seat nicely in the mouthpiece, okay? And if you take material off this way, you can end up affecting the action of your harmonica or screwing it up entirely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take a little of this compound, okay, and I'm going to start like this. And this, you know, rub the compound in circular motions, okay? And what this is going to do is it's going to remove any crap that's been built up on the slider, and it's going to polish the slider so that it's a nice, very nice polished. Look at that. See, look at this stuff that comes off of there. Okay, so you know that's stuff that's inhibiting our ability to get good action out of these things. So the idea is to get it nice and smooth and polished, but not take a lot of material off. Okay, we just don't want to do that. If you do it, you'll screw up your slide, and the next thing you know, you're buying a new slide for your harmonica. So, and I don't know about you, but I don't have a ton of money to be throwing away on slides and stuff like that. I'd rather I'd rather buy more harmonicas. What an idiot. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep doing this, and then once I'm done, I'll be back. All right, so I'm done with the slider, and you can see a notable difference. That really took a lot of grime off, but also one of the things, if you've been playing one of these chromatic long enough, what you begin to see is like the impressions of the holes on the slider itself in kind of a black. It's almost like an oxidation imprint of the holes. Doing this takes all of that off. All of that kind of stuff builds up on the slide, and it becomes something that inhibits the action of your playability. So I am done with the slider, and it looks beautiful. One of the things that I would say that you should do is I've got a it's over by the sink, but I've got a toothbrush that I actually keep for the purpose of cleaning harmonicas and harmonica maintenance in general. And I would, you take the slider, make sure you wash it with warm soapy water to get all that solvent off, all that stuff, and then take a toothbrush and just lightly scrub over the top, over the slider, because what happens is you will invariably miss getting some of that compound out of the holes. And you can see it. If you look closely after you're done, you'll see that it's kind of in there. You don't want that stuff in there when you're playing. So take a toothbrush, clean it out real good, dry it off real good, and then you're ready for the install, which is the next step. Here's another thing. I don't know if you've heard of him, but there's a great harmonica player. One of my favorites right now. His name is Yvanik Prenet, and he is a French harmonica player, and he's just an amazing player out of New York City, and he's a part of the jazz scene there. He's one of the up-and-coming guys and all this good stuff, and he's amazing. But he has a video where he actually poured olive oil into his slider. Now, I've never tried that, but I have heard recommendations that you can use slider oil and so on and so forth. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of olive oil, I'm going to put it on my fingers, and I'm just going to give this a very, very, very light coat. So it's just a very thin film. I think olive oil is, safe, and I'm not going to die if, if it gets into my system. So I'm going to try that, and then I'm going to put everything back together, and we'll see how it all works. All right, I'll be back. All right, I'm back, and it worked. Wow, holy crap, guys. All right, so what an amazing what a huge difference, okay? Look at this. Unbelievable. What a difference. I can't even begin to tell you the difference that made. This was gritty at best feeling, you know, it got to the point to where the slide, it just would drag, it would click, it would stick. That little project took me all of maybe, you know, 25-30 minutes total. And that's including reassembling and everything. And it's oh my goodness. Wow. All right. So the only reason you can hear a little bit of a click is that this needs new bumpers. So a couple suggestions when you do this, make sure that you kind of, you know, check your wind savers and that you don't have any crap going on in there, that they're in good shape. You know, you might want to give your reed plates a little attention, and also check your bumpers, because the bumpers on these will get worn after a while, and that's what causes that clink clink at the end. Mine aren't too terribly bad yet, but I've got some that are coming. So this I can't even begin to tell you what a difference this has made for this harmonica. I will play this all the time now, this particular piece. So I highly suggest this. I'm gonna disclaimer it by saying this also, that you got to keep in mind that anytime that you alter your instrument, any warranty that you may have had on that is now void. So keep that in mind. And also, when doing stuff like this, just take your time, work slowly. You can refer back to this video if you choose to do it, but it's very simple. Take your time, work slow, and the dividends are huge. I can't even believe what a difference that made. This will be the one that I've been playing. I've been playing my Super 64 pretty much constantly because it's a workhorse, and I really don't have any issues with it. I also have my Sirius, but that's like, I've got a bunch of them, but the Sirius is like that's like my crown jewel kind of thing. So I don't want to practice with it. This was the one I really wanted to, you know, to play a lot because I love Suzuki's Chromatics. Wow. Okay, so wow. Look at that. Unbelievable. What a difference. And airtight. And the weird thing is, here's the other thing. After doing that, it's almost, you know, it's so quick, super responsive, way more responsive now than it was. I have to actually kind of slow down, otherwise my technique can't keep up, because I'm just not used to the I'm not used to the speed, you know, the responsiveness. I can't stress enough, if you're having problems with your SCX 64 and the slider, this is a fix, and it's also going to make it more airtight. It's been great. Take care. If you have questions, please let me know. And guys, I hope everybody's great, and you know, keep having fun with it. All right, see ya. Bye-bye.